typical day. It's not your typical day to be doing this training, but as our leader alluded, there are reasons beyond our control. And as I was making the slides, it seemed a little bit too obvious that why would I be presenting this topic? And yet it's something that seems a bit too obvious, that we should all be, physically active. We should all be mindful of our health. And probably this is a wrong cohort of people to be talking about benefits of an active physical lifestyle, because we're all health advocates in Forever Living. We do not just sell the products. We use the products. We do not sell wellness. We are the epitome of wellness. And so this is just a gentle reminder. This is just a gentle nudge towards the right direction for those that may have forgotten or veered off a little bit. And yeah, hopefully we become better advocates. To the visitors in the house who are not part of a bigger Forever community, karibuni sana. Hopefully you get to live with something today. My name is Dr. Swabra. I'm a gynecologist, but I'm also a health enthusiast. I'm an active lifeist. I'm a mountaineer, alpinist, zote hizo. So what are the benefits of an active physical lifestyle? And this is also aimed at enhancing health, happiness, and longevity. So why an active lifestyle matters is because we now know there are studies upon studies that show that sedentary behavior is linked to chronic illnesses. These illnesses include things like arthritis, things like hypertension, things like diabetes, things like obesity, things like sleep apnea, a lot of things. Increases your risk for things like stroke, for things like hypertensive stroke, for things like, basically, as long as you're exposed to chronic life illnesses, usually your risk of mortality and morbidity is highly increased. So physical activity also improves our general well-being, and not just in the physical sense, but in the emotional, in the psychological, in the career, in basically touches on all aspects of our life. And so what is the recommendation? Are you supposed to live in the gym and sleep there? No, basically 30 minutes per day, 5 days a week is more than sufficient to get you started. Of course, you adjust this according to your needs, okay? Good. It also improves cardiovascular health, okay? And usually, we generally say weight is lost in the kitchen. Weight is lost on your plate. Weight is lost, just by minding what you put through the mouth. But your health, your heart health, okay, your morbidity, your mortality, how long you live, how well you live, that is on your physical fitness. And that is usually found in how physically active you are. So no, today I'm not talking about weight loss. Today I'm talking about physical activity, and those two should be separated. That the physical activity here goes beyond weight loss, that it goes towards our stronger body, our healthier life. It strengthens muscles and bones. And this is why, especially in people above 40 years, as people are transitioning to the older ages, even as they go towards exercise, it's good to exercising, but we actually push you towards strength training, towards weight lifting specifically. Why? Because our target changes. Our target becomes your muscles, your bones, which we know naturally, physiologically, are getting weaker. Every physiological process is geared to make them weaker. So your exercising strengthens them. It enhances your immune function, okay? And it aids in weight management. And weight management here has to be looked at in two parts: weight loss, and then also weight gain and weight, maintenance, especially toning, okay? Good. What are the mental health benefits? It boosts your brain and your mood. It reduces anxiety. We know the benefits of exercise and how it reduces your cortisol level. By reducing your cortisol level, which is a stress hormone, you ultimately reduce anxiety and depression. It increases your self-esteem, okay? And this I can personally speak for. Like, man, have you ever gone to the gym and, you hit that session and you hit your goals, and coming out of that gym, man, you're even walking taller, your chest is out, your shoulders are widened, like, man, you're feeling like you are the it. because you have crushed those goals. It improves sleep quality. There's a study that was released last year, but one that was tying sleep apnea and working out. Of course, sleep apnea may come also with weight, but just exercising opens up your airways, exercising opens up your lungs, exercising opens up your just basically your chest area, and you sleep better. And we know the benefits of sleep. You require 8 hours bare minimum of sleep. I like how I usually advocate for better sleep, and I'm the person who does not sleep the most. But that aside, sleep quality improves, again, back to your mood, back to your physical health. Why? Because the better you sleep, the lower your cortisol levels. The lower your cortisol levels, the lower your stress hormones. And the lower your stress hormones, the better you feel about yourself, the better you actually do look. Okay? It boosts cognitive function and memory. This here reduces that fogginess. Sometimes, if at all you're not very clear in your head, there's no clarity. It's like there's this cloud that is hanging, like it translates into small things, and I will explain. For example, people who have fogginess of a brain and memory, what usually happens is small tasks now become big tasks, in the sense that you have to remember. Nilizima hiyo pasi, and then you go back and double check. Did I close that door? Then you go back, and you do not have that mental focus, that clarity of mind. This is not just even in the day-to-day tasks. This also translates in our career. This also translates in the tasks that we do in our employment area. So basically, you're carrying out duties like I hold a knife every time to operate on a woman. Am I mentally clear? Usually it helps a lot if I've hit the gym in the morning, my mind is clear, my focus is razor sharp, my memory is good, and you hit the day knowing that you are at 100% and not working on fogginess and gray areas. Okay? There is a lot of connection that is fostered through movements. When you're out at Karura Forest, for example, taking your jog, you're meeting new people. When you're at the gym, you're forming a small community there. You're forming teamworks wherever you're working out, okay? It improves communication skills. And this is quite important in the sense that you learn to advocate for yourself. I will give an example. Yesterday, I have a personal trainer. So yesterday, and he was passing out instructions, and of course, I was feeling overwhelmed. When your gym trainer is issuing instructions, it feels like he's out to kill you. And so you learn very quickly to form a language that he hears, so that you know that and understand. So because communication here is you talking and you also receiving and understanding in between. So you're both on the same page, in the sense that there is a goal to be met. We've communicated on the goal. There is a strategy to carry it out. And yes, laziness here and there can occur, but as long as we're communicating and we're keeping the focus and we're keeping the goals in sight, then things are good. So my communication skills have actually gotten better. I can advocate for myself. I can say, today is not that day. My energy levels are low. I can compensate maybe tomorrow. But basically, you're learning, how to communicate better. It strengthens community involvement and also encourages family bonding. I hike with my kids. I hike with my husband. And so most of the time when you're out there, your family members, your friends, all the people you're doing these activities with, you get to connect on a slightly deeper level, and you sort of dig deeper, and you're moving beyond the normal conversations. Okay, so basically this enhances bonding, and then again, part of wellness, our community around us forms part of our wellness cycle. You cannot say that you are well by yourself if the community around you is not supportive and is not well by themselves as well. Good. So there are lifestyle benefits as well, and this is a better life daily. And what does that mean? Your energy levels and productivity are up. I promise you. You start with hitting the gym or the trail, or running, or even a home workout, and you've hit those goals. You start the day with all those endorphins flowing through you, and energy levels are up. And just basically that energy carries through the day, and you realize that you're not slumpy, you're not getting, overwhelmed in the middle of the day, energy levels are getting down. You basically have longer sustenance, okay? Productivity is high because even your mental clarity is high. It promotes better posture and balance. I realized, by the way, the minute I started working out and you're building better muscles and stronger muscles, posture by default is corrected. Like at the back of my head, I always hear the coach saying, Swabra, core tight. So every time you're slumping a little bit, you just hear in the background, core tight, and then you sit up straighter, shoulders are back, and chest is out. So basically, better posture, better balance, and this also comes from you have to build the foundation, and the foundation here is a stronger body. You can't have posture and balance if your body is weak, okay? It reduces the risks of falls in older adults, especially here, I'll speak for women. Why? As you go into your menopause, you're realizing that your calcium levels, your vitamin D, all these things that make nice, strong bones are getting lower and lower and lower because absorption is getting worse and worse and worse. And here you are not having built these muscles to support your frame up. I promise you, even like a trip that, would have landed you, falling down and just maybe scratching something in your younger days. When you are in your menopause years, there is a high likelihood that probably you will end up with a broken bone somewhere or a joint, okay? So basically, exercising does a lot to reduce this risk, okay? And then generally, it encourages healthier choices. And this is how it basically looks like. You have woken up, you have put in that 1 hour, you've worked out in your sitting room, you've committed and you've given it your all. I mean, the next thing you're going to do after that is probably get yourself some breakfast. I mean, why, after doing that for your body, why would you serve yourself the lousiest of meals, okay, with little nutrition, junk? I wouldn't. So actually from the gym, you realize the days you actually hit the gym, your exercise goals, even your food choices are better. Even your relationship choices are better. You are a strong person mentally. If you have that mental fortitude to carry you through a workout, to carry you through a training session, to carry you through a training program towards a specific goal, and you've met that goal, there's something that switches in your brain. You become a very strong person mentally, and even all other choices in your life are sort of anchored around that mental stamina that you probably have, okay? So better choices overall. So yes, Dr. Swabra telling you, you have to, work out. But what are the tips for you working out and staying active, okay? If we are together, kindly, everybody, give me a two. Give me a two. At least let me know we are together. I'm not just yapping. Thank you, guys. I see you. Good. So here we are. We're looking to get stronger. We're looking to get, more stamina. We're looking to get more clarity. We're looking to get more mental tenacity. So what are these tips that you can apply for staying active? How do you make it a habit? Tafadhali, do not go kill yourself in activities you don't enjoy. I do not like yoga. Okay, and yet I know yoga is very healthy for some other people, but I cannot still my mind to do yoga. Why would I be caught doing yoga? And I know I can't sustain it. If you choose an activity that you love, you'll probably end up doing. Look at the people around you who have, stuck through the exercise program you see them doing. I'll give a few examples, okay? You see someone joining, you see, I'll use Linda Gay as an example. She swims all the time. You have to choose an activity. You can tell she likes it. I mean, I don't think she really hates that water that much for her to enter into that water, okay? You look at some people, look at Esther Masika doing her runs with Mombasa Walk Movement. I have never caught her in CrossFit. Maybe because her love is more in running and walking, okay? Pick an activity, and there is a lot. There is rock climbing. There is, what is it called? CrossFit. There is gym. There is weightlifting. There is running. There is swimming. There is yoga for you. There is meditation for you. There is, oh my God, there's a lot. There's a lot that you can do. Even ring fencing, all these activities. Choose an activity. And my tip usually for choosing an activity would be that activity that of course that makes you happy, but in terms of sustainability, usually I look at it, for me, what works for me. There's some people who are group activity people, like for example, they enjoy activities that are done as a group, and then there are people who are like solo workout, people, meaning they do not like, so you have to know yourself. I think you understand what I'm saying. So people feed off different energies. So for example, if you feed off a group scenario, and the energy from the group impacts on you, and you give your best because naturally probably you are competitive, then pick that. Pick a sport, pick relay, pick, and sprinting and, high jump and all those things. If you are someone who enjoys solo activities, please take your solo walks, take your solo hikes, take your solo, you understand? Just tailor that activity to what truly speaks to you and to your heart. Kindly set realistic goals. It is not sustainable for you to say, I want to lose 20 kilograms in a period of, 1 month by taking walks. You will hate that walk, because then how many steps do you have to take for you to actually lose 20 kilograms? Realistic goals will look like, I want to get strong, and be specific in your goals. I want to get strong in my upper body. Okay. And not just that, I want to get strong in my upper body, and this is what I will do to my shoulder and back to make my upper body stronger. And so then you specifically go for something that may realistically set you up for success, and not necessarily always dangling a carrot in front of you. You're not able to achieve those goals. You're constantly feeling like you're failing. Goals that are small and realistic and achievable are easier to hit and are therefore more likely to keep you doing that thing you're doing. I do not want an overall summary of where you want to be. Yeah, I want a super hot body. I want to be like a supermodel eventually. But for now, can I make my core tight? For now, can I just, for now, can I do this? For now, can I make my lower body a bit stronger? For now, can I work on this stroke? For now, can I work on my backhand if you're playing tennis? For now, can I work on my passing if you're playing football? So break it down into sizable, chewable chunks, okay? Mix it up. You need all the types of activities. There's cardio, there's strength, and there's flexibility. Imagine my shock. I'm training for a big climb in October. And so I had to get on a program for the next 3 months. So I have a personal trainer. So imagine my shock when I was handed my program. And in it, I was expecting, hard things, CrossFit, lifting weights, running. I have a mobility class. Mobility people. Do you know what they do in mobility? The things I do not like contorting your body and stretching it out. Those are the things I'm asked to do. But now I understand why. It aids in recovery. So mixing it up challenges your body to keep adjusting. You're doing cardio, oh, your body will get used to the cardio. If all you're doing is just sprinting and running on a treadmill, your body will get used, and then you hit a plateau. So usually you're supposed to, switch it up. Do cardio here, challenge your body a little bit more by doing a bit of strength training, lift those weights, enter flexibility class so that you aid in muscle recovery, muscle healing, and just basically moving your joints and expanding your range of movement. By the time your body is getting used to that, get back to cardio, get back to strength. You get what this means, okay? Keep changing the activities if you have to for just basically variety, okay? And then stay consistent. Make it part of your routine, that your day is defined as. And sometimes sharing these things on your socials, like the way we share our business and the way we share our lives on socials, sharing your workout routines and sharing your exercise routines on social media sometimes helps. And because it creates accountability. That random day that you've woken up and you've not posted, someone will say, hey, kwani leo hatujaenda gym? So people are actually watching, and they're actually keeping you on track. Even without them intending to, they are. Because then if truly you did, you say, no, I did, I just didn't post. But actually, if you did not, it reminds you that someone somewhere is watching. Even you should be watching yourself, okay? Consistent. I usually say for consistency and of consistency, I 1,000 times over would pick a consistent person than a gifted person, okay? And even in medical school, when I was starting medical school, I remember one lecturer once told us, I do not want the brightest in this class. I want the most consistent. And maybe then it didn't make sense. We were young and we were starting out in this life. But consistency trumps over gifts and and talents 1,000 times over, because when you are feeling inspired with your talent and with your motivation at the moment, things are easy to do. But that day you wake up and your schedule does not align and you have a lot on your plate and you have gone through a breakup and like everything is looking towards not working out, do you still have that mental muscle to remind yourself why you're doing the things you're doing, okay? Consistency comes from discipline, and that's why I find it a very superior quality to have. Consistency for me tells a lot about you. It carries through actually to other spheres of your life, okay? Good. So we have made it a routine. How then do we overcome the barriers? The barriers that we place upon ourselves mentally, and then of course barriers that we seemingly see that are existing around us, okay? No more excuses, please. No more excuses. You do not have time, then fine. Get a 15-minute home workout. Do not even go to the gym. Don't waste time on the road. 15 minutes in the morning and then 15 minutes before you sleep, or 15 minutes in the morning and then the other 15 minutes, because you remember you have to do 30 minutes. When you get to work, I work in a building that is all the way up to 9th floor. Yeah, if I've not worked out in the gym in the morning, I will do those stairs and count my steps so that I put in my steps. I think if you follow me on my socials yesterday, you saw I was doing a dance in maternity because me had not finished my steps for the day and I was waiting for a woman to deliver. So, I mean, I would have sat down and let time pass, but I mean, I could also have put music, just danced and put in my exercise. So I danced, okay, in maternity. Hakuna excuses, okay? You do not have a gym, please, home workouts also work. There are also parks. In Mombasa, we have Butterfly Pavilion. In Nairobi, we have Karura. We have Arboretum, okay? There's no excuse. In Kampala, we have, I think, what is this garden called? This one that has butterflies, okay? There are so many open areas you can actually take a walk and put in your steps. Low motivation, kindly get an accountability partner that may help. Accountability partner may be an actual human being or may actually be AI as well. Or there are so many apps, so many apps that can work as your accountability partner. You have health issues, start where you are with what you have and consult your doctor. For example, you have arthritis. It's okay. I may not want high impact exercises, but please, can we then start with walking? Or if not walking, then can we enter the water? It's very soothing to the joints and you're exercising, you're getting in your exercise without necessarily burdening your joints. So basically, there are variations that you can have. So basically, my conclusion today would be get moving. Your future self will thank you for it. And this is what they say about exercise and physical movement, that every hour you put in every day of exercise adds approximately 8 minutes to your overall life. So imagine that this week I went to the gym 1 hour, 5 times in a week. That's 40 minutes I've added to my life. That's a lot of time. Okay, that's a lot of time. So physical activity is essential. It's not optional, non-negotiable. You start small, you stay consistent, and then you build up. And then benefits touch each and every part of our life. Now, for the sake of our discussion here, I want to bring it home. And you need to fuel your body and you need to nourish your body because you're going to work out. And mtu ana lift weights kwa gym, my friend, mtu anainua chuma anaweza toka hiyo chuma, my friend, ako na njaa nyingine, upitie tu kibandaski na ukule mandazi 10, now you will be justified, and in your head you'll be telling yourself, you know what, I deserve this, I have worked for this. And yet whatever you put through your mouth may undo all that you have done in that 1 hour of gym. Not just food. You also need an actual strong body to work out, okay? You do not want a weak body. For example, I am prone to anemic episodes where my blood levels are low. Now, someone who has low blood levels, they have general weakness, they have dizziness, they have, like, you're just a very weak person walking. Like your heart, even at rest, you can feel it beating gudu, 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 like it wants to get out. More so when you're working out. So then I'm not at my prime, okay, when I'm working out if my blood levels are low. So then what are these things that are supposed to nourish your body, build your body, fortify your body, make your body well, so that now your body is ready to take on this extra challenge? So of course, number one, we always go back to your muscle. So these are amino acids. So we need L-arginine. And what does L-arginine do? It supports nitric oxide production, which then improves blood flow, cardiovascular health, and muscle performance during exercise. You need soy protein isolate. What does this do? It actually does, let me move this a bit. It actually provides essential amino acids, which we know are building blocks for muscles. And what are these muscles that we're building for? Muscle repair. Remember, every time you're exercising, there's muscle tear and wear. So you need to repair these muscles. That's why you have recovery periods. Whatever you put to your body, or whatever you feed your body with, should help in the repair of these muscles that have been put to work. Okay, you also need to grow your muscle. You need to bulk your muscle. These are your power engines that help you lift, move, short bursts of activity, hold up your frame, okay? And then these are also crucial for post-workout recovery. Then category number 2, you need vitamins. And vitamins here are many. Actually, we could just say all vitamins are needed, but I'll just specify the ones that are specific for workouts, okay? So vitamin A supporting immune function and vision, aiding in overall health for active individuals. Vitamin C, we know it, oxidative stress, antioxidants. And then also vitamin C, the one thing that it is not quite shouted, but it's quite important. It aids in collagen formation. So every time we're talking collagen, and that is why whenever you're talking skin, you'll talk vitamin C. Why? Because of collagen. Okay, whenever you're talking vitamin C, you have to talk joints. Why? Because you're talking collagen. So in as much as it's an antioxidant, yes, it helps mambo immunity and all that, collagen is vital and it comes from vitamin C as well, okay? So this is important for joint health. You also need your vitamin D. Vitamin D, you cannot talk vitamin D without talking calcium. So every time I've always mentioned calcium, I've always brought in vitamin D, because vitamin D is a driver of calcium into the bones. You may have a lot of calcium hanging around in your bloodstream, but you need vitamin D to sort of carry it into your bones for that absorption. So promotes bone health, muscle function, and essential for physical activity. Vitamin E is an antioxidant and it protects the cell. So remember, cells have what we call a cell life, and cells grow and cells are born and then cells eventually die. But you may want to protect these cells as much as possible from premature death, premature aging with vitamin E. And exercise actually induces stress into your body. Remember, there's muscle tear and wear. And what protects those cells is vitamin E from premature aging and premature death. There's vitamin 6. What does vitamin 6 do? Supports metabolism of your energy levels, reduces fatigue levels, and then this is especially so during intense workouts. Vitamin B12, you cannot talk B12 unless you're talking HB. So it aids your red blood cells. Why are we talking about HB, hemoglobin levels, or blood levels whenever we're talking about workouts? Simply because hemoglobin is the oxygen carrier. So you need hemoglobin to carry this oxygen, to take these oxygen molecules to your muscles, which now will give that oxidation of your muscles as you work out. So all these things are connected. Usiangalie B12 and folate ukasema hii sasa si ya kuongeza tu damu. Hiyo damu inahitajika kubeba oxygen, ndio oxygen isaidie misuli. So all these things are related. You need oxygen, excuse me, you need oxygen in your muscles to also help in what? Recovery. So this is exercise related fatigue. And finally, you cannot talk B12 without talking folic acid. This supports energy metabolism and cellular repair, vital for active lifestyle. So those are the vitamins that you need. So other than vitamins, you need minerals. So there's a difference between vitamins and minerals, okay? So calcium here falls under minerals, and we know, and we've talked about calcium and healthy bones and healthy muscles. So it strengthens your bones and supports your muscle contraction, and this helps in reducing injury risk during exercise. Magnesium. When you're talking recovery, you need magnesium. We were having this conversation in the gym, and there was a lot of talk about, someone said, you know, all these supplements, right now it's like all of a sudden everybody's talking supplements. Ata magnesium. Mimi, when I was a young child, I didn't even know what magnesium is, and I've grown to, when you're a young child, you're not lifting heavy like you are now. When you're a young child, your muscles were not dying. When you're a young child, you did not have cramps. Say you're an old person, even breathing gives you a cramp. You even have heavy thoughts, your brain will have a cramp. Please, you need to up your magnesium levels, okay? Are we together, people? Please, ebu niandikie magnesium hapo kwa chatbot. I like magnesium, by the way, as a supplement. It helps a lot with cramping, with, you know, smoothening the feel of your muscles. Kindly give me magnesium, okay? Nitawapatia homework leo. Nendeni mkasome kuhusu magnesium. We know a lot about calcium and all the big minerals, but there are small ones that are usually not talked about. Okay, and magnesium is one of them, and it is vital. Okay, it is vital. Cramping, mwanamke akona mimba, msisahau magnesium. Sijui akona muscle pull, magnesium. You're swimming, you keep getting accumulation of what? Lactic acid. Magnesium is important to get rid of that because it helps in relieving all that. Phosphorus. Phosphorus and bone, same WhatsApp group. What does it do? It creates high metabolic rates, especially when we're talking about bone health, and then it's also critical for endurance, okay? Good. Zinc, I like zinc for protein synthesis, okay? Whenever you're talking about zinc, it aids amino acids. And now here we're building our proteins. And what are the proteins used for? We use protein for recovery because protein here will aid in the muscle building, will aid in the muscle wear and tear. Iron, as we talked about, folate behind there and vitamin B12. Iron improves oxygen transport to muscles, boosting endurance and performance, okay? Good. Manganese, and this is different from magnesium. Manganese supports bone health and metabolism, aiding in energy production. Selenium, selenium, for me as a gynecologist and especially a fertility specialist, selenium is a mineral that is very close to my heart. What does it do? It's an antioxidant, especially in men. Selenium ensures good sperm motility, okay? And selenium also ensures good sperm count, okay? It's an antioxidant. That's how basically it aids in removing all the oxidative stress that will have otherwise affected the different systems. And so here, it protects the muscles from oxidative damage post-workouts. So selenium here is coming in strong. They'll actually say, if you're to give me in one hand, vitamin C, selenium in the other, I would pick selenium all the time, okay? Good. Chromium. What does chromium do? It regulates blood sugar for sustained energy. Look at it this way. Chromium is like a protein. And here I'll teach you something a little bit on metabolism and also spiking of your insulin. Every time you're having a meal, especially pre-workout, post-workout, you want a meal that will sustain your sugar levels in a flat line and not in a spike. What do I mean? You take a carbohydrate, you take sugar, you take chipo, you take anything that triggers your insulin rises sharply. You'll feel good, and that is why by the way, eating chipo is very delicious. Like there's something, it hits the spot. There's something it does to your endorphins because that is your insulin speaking to you. Your insulin has been spiked. But what happens when you spike your insulin? It also drops you down unceremoniously. Inakuangushanga, inakubwaga pwa. The hunger pangs that come after, your insulin has spiked are that much higher, that much more intense. So you may want a meal that sustains into a flat line, may not give you all those pleasure centers, but may also not leave you high and dry. And so, for example, as opposed to having tea and bread in the morning, I would rather have tea and duma. So they're both carbohydrates, but one carbohydrate there spikes your insulin, while the other carbohydrate sort of sustains your sugar levels. Protein, when you're looking at protein in your diet, it's a sustainer. It's a sustainer of what? Your blood sugar levels, okay? So this is what chromium does, that it regulates your blood sugar for sustained energy during exercise. Does not spike, it's a constant hapo tu, inashikilia tu hapo until you finish your exercise, okay? Iodine, what does iodine do? Iodine, every time you're thinking iodine, you're thinking thyroid. And thyroid is a master gland. Why do I call it the master gland? It is a metabolic gland. Low thyroid levels reduces your metabolism. No matter what you're doing, your metabolism is just not revving up. High thyroid levels, you have what we call hyperthyroidism. That means you are on overboard. You're trying to gain weight, you're not able to gain weight because your body is working on overdrive. It is on constant, okay, high metabolism. So we need iodine levels that are going to support good function of a thyroid, okay? There are other supplements, and important here, I have to talk about chondroitin. And every time you mention chondroitin, please bring in the sister. The sister is called what? Glucosamine. So every time you're talking about joints, you're talking about bone health, you have to talk about these two things. What does chondroitin do? It promotes joint lubrication, cartilage health, reducing stiffness during movement. And what does glucosamine do? Glucosamine, by the way, has benefits that extend beyond your bones. I'll show you. Glucosamine can be used in glaucoma. Glaucoma is an eye condition. Why then is it used in glaucoma? Because it reduces the intraocular pressure. Glucosamine is used in weight loss. Okay? Glucosamine is used in back pains, in knee pains, interstitial cystitis. What is interstitial cystitis? It's a chronic inflammation of your bladder. Glucosamine has been shown to regulate that. Okay? So every time you're drinking a bottle of Freedom, I know it looks like you're just taking care of your joints and your muscle, but actually taking care of also your urine health through the glucosamine in it. And then, of course, now your gut health through the aloe in it. Okay? Bladder conditions, and then, of course, eventually joint pains. Okay? Good. Then you have hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic, every time you think hyaluronic, think lubrication. So it enhances joint flexibility, supports connective tissue repair and health. Collagen. Hey, these last few months, we have had collagen on our socials. I can't wait to get to Dar es Salaam and get my hands on collagen. Because what does collagen do? It's a building block for all these tendons, okay? Strengthens your joints, supports muscle recovery. It's good for your skin, okay? It lubricates your skin. It makes your skin tight, reduces fine lines, and it's an anti-aging. It's good for your hair. It's good for your nails. It's good for everything, okay? I'm sure even if you want a promotion at work, just take collagen. It might help. I promise you it might, okay? Curcumin provides anti-inflammatory benefits, easing muscle soreness and supporting recovery, and probiotics. Why do we need probiotics? I know this is a strange one to find here when we're talking about exercises, because it improves gut health and nutrient absorption. So we go back to the basics. You're taking all these things, the minerals, the amino acids, and the vitamins. Where are they being absorbed? So they're being absorbed in your gut. And so since you need a clean gut, so first then we need our aloe, so that you cleanse your system, take a shower in the inside. And then now, other than that, you also need probiotics, the lactobacilli. Remember, lactobacilli is not just in the reproductive tract, it's also in your GIT. These help ferment the foods and take up the nutrients as they should. So basically, they're setting up the right ground for absorption of all these vitamins that you're now taking. And then, of course, it optimizes energy and recovery. And then, of course, you need antioxidants, which will come from your natural berries. Whenever you're talking antioxidants and fruits, you have to think berries, pomegranate, grapes, and all those. So they protect against exercise-induced oxidative stress. So let's bring it to forever. So all these things that we're looking for in our minerals, in our vitamins, in our amino acids, where are we getting them? What do we have in forever? So of course, you know me. I think if you've interacted with me in person, as everybody is drinking their berry nectar and their yellow what were we told to call it? Not kibuyu. Someone give me the word. What did the Tanzanians call the container? The aloe container. So as everybody is carrying their yellow container of aloe, Swabra is always carrying her blue Forever Freedom, okay? I think it's kidude or something. What? There's something we called it. Kidumu. Kidumu. So as everybody is carrying their yellow kidumu and their pink and white kidumu, Swabra is carrying her white and blue kidumu. So why Forever Freedom? Because inside of it, I will not even repeat myself again, because now you know the functions of all these things. It has glucosamine, it has chondroitin sulfate, and it has vitamin C. Story closed. It supports your joint, maintains cartilage structure, lubrication, mobility, repair. Vitamin C is an antioxidant. Okay, good. Then, is my screen not moving? Good. We have a aloe heat lotion. Okay, this is a massage lotion, which is stabilized aloe vera and warming agents. That's why it's called a heat lotion. So the warming agents here are menthol and eucalyptus, okay? So basically, these penetrate deeply into so tired muscles and may help to relax those muscles so that it gives you that recovery that you so need. It soothes tired, aching muscles after exercise or a long day, heating and cooling effects for joint and muscle relief, ideal for sports injuries, sprains, and even tension headaches. I like that. These are the benefits that we're speaking about. But there are other benefits as well. Okay, the menthol here may help in congestion, especially nasal congestion. Your child has, this flu and can't breathe, is breathing through the mouth. Just do steaming with the menthol and the eucalyptus. It opens up the airways, okay? So the breathing is even better, the sleeping is even better. And what better thing to do other than rest well, sleep well, especially when you're working out, so that you aid your body in that faster recovery, okay? So this helps in recovery, keeping you ready for your next workout. I think my second best product in Forever is the Forever Move, okay? I like Forever Move because it has a natural eggshell membrane, and natural eggshell membrane has been known to be, was it 30 times or 40 times more potent than glucosamine and chondroitin sulfate. That's how potent it is. So there's this orthopedic surgeon that I know, and of all the beautiful things we have in Forever, there's only one thing he buys from me. It's Forever Move, because he knows studies are coming out very strongly. I can share these later if you want to probably use them as you're trying to, recommend the benefits of this product to your clients, that, there are known agents for joint health, and above and beyond most of them, the NEM component is stronger, superior, okay? So what does it do? What does NEM do? It supports joint flexibility, muscle recovery. It contains chondroitin, hyaluronic acid, and collagen for joint health. So this is not just chondroitin and glucosamine, hyaluronic iko ndani, collagen iko ndani, NEM iko ndani, okay? And it's perfect for athletes or anyone with an active lifestyle. So this helps in reducing tension, supports mobility, enhances performance. Light Ultra, because where else would you get 24 grams of protein? We've talked about protein being the building blocks of these muscles that you need for muscle recovery. You need muscles because they're your powerhouses. You need muscles, by the way, because they burn fat for you even at rest. When you're sleeping, your muscles continue working for you. That's why we recommend strength training as opposed to just cardio. So it's a protein-packed shake mix for meal replacement or post-workout nutrition. It's very high in protein to support muscle repair and growth, balance vitamins and minerals for sustained energy, and of course, the flavors are very beautiful and nice, okay? I like that I can equate one tiny scoop to one egg is almost 5 to 6 grams. So you're talking about that one scoop holding 4 eggs. I mean, in which lifetime are you going to sit down and have 5 eggs as a meal, okay? And yet this is a replacement for a meal, okay? Good. L-arginine, nitrous oxide, vasodilation. We want good heart health. Ag is in it. We want good blood flow to the muscles. Ag is that product. We want good, what is it called? Oxidation of your whole body. Ag is it. You want good athletic performance. Ag is it. And it also helps that it is berry flavored. So it mixes very well with other things. For example, if you're taking berry nectar, Ag is a very good product to combine because they all have the same flavor, okay? So it combats fatigue, it makes it ideal for workouts and on busy days, okay? Good. Naturemin. This, I think, is the one. When calcium was out of stock, I saw people quite stranded, all the time asking for calcium. And yet Naturemin has your calcium. Not only calcium, it also has vitamin D. Not only that, it also has manganese. Not only that, it also has phosphorus. Not only that, it also has zinc. And then like Naturemin, I gift this to my patients who have delivered. Every patient that has delivered has passed through my hands. As they go home, I give them Naturemin. Why? Because first of all, it has everything I need, okay? In your repair, in your muscle rejuvenation, you've just come from a very stressful event that is birthing a baby. I give you Ag because this enhances recovery. It has all the multivitamins. It has all the minerals that I may need for you to have. Also, it helps in hairline not falling off when you're breastfeeding. So remember, when you're breastfeeding, you're also losing calcium, vitamin D, and all these minerals, zinc to your babies through the milk. So Naturemin replaces that. So for the person who's physically active, all the things you're looking for, especially moja, instead of getting a calcium here, a zinc here, magnesium here, Naturemin has pretty much, just turn it around and look at the ingredients. It has pretty much all these things that are needed. So it strengthens your hair, your teeth, your nails, your bones with essential minerals, support muscle function, energy metabolism, and it's derived from natural sources for optimal absorption. One fun fact about it, it is chewable. Why I like it for my pregnant women is because many pregnant women crave this clay, what they call udongo. Naturemin gives the same sensation as chewing udongo, only that now it comes packed with all these multivitamins and minerals. Recommend it for the women around you, for the women who are active, also for the men. It's a very nice chewable, very nice supplement, okay? Good. And I think I've come to the end of my presentation. I have been within time, so I may allow a few questions here and there. Or if we are all on the same page and we have all understood, then I would hand the floor back to our leader, Emmanuel. Emmanuel?
Yes, I'm looking for questions. There was one or two. Just Priscilla Clifford, leader, can you see her question?
Let me find it. Can you read it for me, please?
Is it healthy for a lady at 44 years, akona 54 kgs?
So we will always go back to BMI, stroke, waist. I like that you've mentioned it's a lady. So studies are now moving away from BMI because whenever we're talking BMI, we're talking cohort of studies that are done on population species that are not African. So the way the African body is built, we are moving steadily towards waist to hip ratio, especially for the woman. What does that mean? That your waist, the girth around your waist and that around your hips should be at a ratio of 1:2. So meaning your hips bigger than your waist. And if your waist is reducing in that ratio, meaning the ratio is getting smaller, that means your waist is getting bigger if you compare with your hips, then that is a direct mark of the fat that lies in your body, what we call visceral fat, the fat hugging your organs. So if your waist to hip ratio is good, or if your BMI is good within the normal, what we talk about is 19 to 24.9, okay? So if we're talking about BMI being within the normal, because you've not told me her height, then perfectly fine. It doesn't matter her age. We're always going by those two markers. I'll give myself as an example. I'm a very petite person. Petite here is just another fancy word for meaning short, okay? So basically, if you're to look at my height and my expected weight, I'm supposed to be dancing between 45 and around 55. So yes, I'll be that person who at 50, you're thinking that is too little. You're a woman, you need to be more. Not really, it goes with my height. If you have someone taller, for example, I'll use leader Rhoda here as an example. She's a much taller lady. So of course, if her weight is say, for example, 45, I may have a problem. Why? Because then her BMI, sorry, is slightly reduced, okay? So basically you're working with your height and you're working with your weight. So I think maybe that answers the question.
Okay.
I see there are,
You seen the other one?
now look,
What is the
how
right
do you
measure
find
of
this thing?
daily intake of vitamin D?
What is the right measure of?
Daily intake of vitamin D.
Okay, I can't even tell it off head, but I usually know it's in the range of, can I confirm? I have my Naturemin here. You're not supposed to be walking around cramming all these things, okay? But basically, we're talking about, if not 400 international units for children up to around 1 year, for children, okay, so let's say from 0 to 12 months, 400 international units. And then now the rest of the population, it's around 600, but that demand is increased to people above 70 because for obvious reason, you're not absorbing vitamin D, so it will go up to 800. So that is that. So how friendly, so I'm seeing other questions. So maybe let me go up a little bit and find them.
Okay.
Using Naturemin helped me restore my hairline after. Yes, because of the calcium and vitamin D. Okay. How friendly are these supplements to my liver? They are quite friendly. Most of the vitamins and minerals are usually metabolized in the liver, excreted in your kidney. As long as you're keeping within the daily recommended doses, then it should be quite safe. And then number two, the beautiful thing about all these things, these are not medication, they're supplements. They're supposed to supplement a nutritious diet. And even when we give you that supplement, at the back, when you flip it, it gives you the daily recommended dose that has been tailored towards what you're looking to meet. And now here is where probably I'll add this bit where when we're approaching supplementation, we're approaching it from two angles. There's that person who has normal levels and you're just doing routine supplementation. And then there's this other person who's coming from a deficient point of view where now you're supplementing to bring them back to normal. So the dose will differ. And then now here is where you will work closely with the person recommending these supplements to you and of course your health practitioner. So it's not a one bullet hits all. You just basically tailor to how do I calculate BMI? I see that she has been helped, but basically you're usually taking your height in meters. So for example, I am 152 centimeters, so that will be 1.52 and you square it. So 1.52 times 1.52, you get that figure X. And then now you take my weight, which is probably 49 or 50, 50 divided by X. And then now that number that you get, that is your BMI, okay? Someone with a bald head, what can they take to regain their hair again? Other than seeing a trichologist, I would say probably get to the base of what caused the alopecia or the hair loss, because there are so many causes. And I can see you're a woman, so I'm assuming it's you, but basically if a woman is talking about hair or a bald head, I usually go back to traction alopecia, meaning the styles we wear on our head put a lot of tension on our hairline, and then they sort of even pull out the follicles of the hair, and so that hair doesn't quite grow. So basically we may have to explore options like, you know, maybe supplements are lacking, or you're lacking in some other things, minerals, or now we probably have to talk about hair transplant, or now we have to talk about stem cells and rejuvenating stem cells. There are new studies that are coming up that if you inject stem cells, then hair may grow. So I would say probably here you may need to see a practitioner to sort of go through that. But this life is too short to be walking around with a bald head. I don't know if there are any questions.
I can't see any other questions.
For your audience. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Emmanuel,
much.
for accommodating me and my postponement.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So
All right.
thank you so much, Leader, for that awesome session. I want to believe everybody has enjoyed. But just in case you missed that valuable information, it will be on YouTube by tomorrow morning. You can share with everybody else who missed. Otherwise, wishing you a good week for those of us who are traveling to Dar es Salaam for the Success Day on Monday. Wish you a safe journey. And remember to carry your kidumu, as we've been told. Yeah, carry excitement as well, so that we make the best out of the days ahead of us. Otherwise, asanteni sana. Leader, there's a question. I don't know if it's I think directly to you. There's a lady friend is 32 years and struggling to get a baby. Can that person reach out to you?
So fertility, I think maybe if you're in the main WhatsApp group, just reach out kindly on the side, because now fertility is a very lengthy and deep topic. I am open to you reaching out. I'll be waiting for your message, Leader.
Okay. Frida, can you reach out to Daktari on the side, please? I am sure you can get her number there. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good evening. God bless and take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.